Space, the final frontier. These are the continuing voyages of the Starship Enterprise. Its ongoing mission to explore strange new worlds, to seek out new life and new civilizations. To boldly go where no man has gone before. I am Planet Surveyor Lieutenant Carter of the Starship Enterprise. The following will be my final log entry. Let the record show that my mission to Earth was a study that has proven itself to be beyond anyone's wildest imaginations. It was supposed to be a study of Earth's early development, and yet it has proven to be Earth's last moments of existence. History books have stated that what took place just prior to a thermonuclear event on Earth was supposed to have been sometime in the late 21st century, but this has been proven as wrong by the fact that Earth is only a few years from this event. My observations outlined in this log entry will show that what we thought we would see when we arrived on Earth in 2006, a society of industrialized nations, wasn't a society that had become progressively industrialized, but was actually collapsing in on itself. Because of Starfleet's Priority 1 directive of non-interference with the development of other planets, even our own, it has been heartbreaking to see our planet become degenerate, depravitated, and evilistic. All of this accumulating with this final entry. Either that this isn't the Earth we assumed it was, or possibly it has become a situation we encountered before when we were accidentally transported back to an alternate universe on an earlier mission. I will elaborate further. If you recall, the Enterprise and 4 landing party members were transporting back up from a meeting with an alien culture, called the Halkins, who held large deposits of dilithium crystals. We were teleported to another Enterprise in an alternate universe. These crew members were diabolically evil and self-centered. This has been the same exact types of people I have been observing here on Earth. These people care only about themselves. Theirs is a government system that protects immorality and practices deceitful laws against its own people. All my observations have proven to me that the nuclear war we know will happen, most likely will happen much earlier than history has said it would. In some ways, it isn't anyone's fault at Starfleet Command that this discrepancy has happened, because records from this period are very vague. What is surprising is how fast this Earth has degenerated down in just 10 years. I noted a dictator named Barack Hussein Obama, who took office in the once great nation of America called the United States in or near the year 2008. He progressively destroyed its fundamental rules of law and began a systematic change in freedoms to its people, giving radical groups like Muslims the absolute privilege of religious freedom, but subjugated all other religions, especially Christianity. Records show that the United States was founded on Christian doctrines and is why the early pilgrims migrated to this land from England. Religious persecution and dictatorship kings forced them to find somewhere else to come to, hoping to worship as they wanted. Now, it is persecution of those same people who came here who are forced to accept what had always been seen as wrong. Immoral lifestyles like homosexuality and hatred against blacks has now been turned on those same people, but to levels that cannot be determined. It's like what we believed about this nation changed so radically that now it isn't even the same people or land anymore. They claim it happened because of the terrorist attacks of September 11 in the year 2001. This is when 3,000 people were killed when terrorists flew 2 aircraft into the downtown skyline of New York City and destroyed 2 skyscrapers there called the World Trade Centers. It is this event that the government claims caused all the changes in freedom to this nation. It doesn't seem possible that this fact could ever have been deleted or removed from what Starfleet had always taught us at the Academy. But it was. Though it can't be confirmed that this society will become the Empire Starfleet we encountered after the accident with the Halkins, it is clear that what we have always believed in history and what we see here aren't the same places. Something has happened, and I can't say if going back in time again to an earlier point will ever make it more evident, but certainly I cannot take that responsibility myself without consulting the captain and Starfleet for further instructions. Commander Spock's knowledge of using time displacement has given us many opportunities in the past to move backwards into time, and now we feel this mission was most important to our people. Will it even be the same when we return to our 24th century? It is only time itself that can answer that. This is why my final log entry is a confirming yes that this planet we knew as Earth is absolutely a planet that is devoid of any intelligent life, and such I am returning to the ship with only the slightest hope that those who are still on Earth in the next 5 years will even be alive. Moving back into time might put things back to the way they should, but it is clear this universe and planets aren't what we know to be ours. May all of you at Starfleet remember that we did what we could and failed, but only because it isn't clear this was ever our Earth when we came to observe it. End of report. Starfleet entry log 2105.36. Note attached visual log as point of reference.
This video is made to those in Starfleet who might wish to know some of my personal reflections for this particular mission. I wanted to do this before returning to the ship, so that if you had questions about what it was like here on this obvious alternate Earth, then I'd have a chance to just give my personal feelings. The ship, I've contacted them already on my communicator, and I'm going to contact them again just to let them know that when I finish this video I'll be transporting back up to the ship. This is Lieutenant Carter to Enterprise. Please stand by. I'll contact you shortly after I finish my additional log for the record as to the mission. So stand by, and I will contact you shortly. Spock has told me that based on the evidence I've given to the ship's library computers, this planet has probably less than 5 years to exist. Now that's not to say that the entire planet will be destroyed. I'm just saying that human life as we know it, as we've interpreted on this planet, won't exist after that. One reason I'm wearing these clothes, of course, I wanted to mingle in, try to get along with everybody. I didn't want them seeing my uniform. I just wanted them to know that I'm like them. This allows you, of course, to observe and to interact with others and not have anyone raise a red flag about, oh, he's an alien, he's not from this planet. And we have so little records about this time in history. I know that Captain Kirk and Spock and the crew went back to 1986, I believe, but they were there to get humpback whales, so we don't know very much more about it than that. There was no other expeditions I've heard of that were sent into the early 21st century. We're in 2016 now, and based on the climate of their political system, just the unrest that's going on all across the board, from racism to cultural divides, religious turmoil going on, I believe that the escalation of nuclear war is very much close at hand. I can say that as a historian, but also based on all the evidence that we've acquired. When I say we, I'm the only one that was sent, but I do make contacts a lot with the Enterprise. They are told of what's going on here, and I try to send them all of the data as I acquire it, and I can collaborate it enough for them to use it. And it doesn't feel like to me that it's not going to last. They can't decide, and they can't determine who they want to even be the president, and that's the highest ranking official in this country, in the United States. And you've got all these other countries of the world who are being just onslaughted with things that they can't accept and they don't intend to accept, forcing them to take other kinds of radical groups of people into their countries. And this person, the president, they call him Barack Hussein Obama, is shoving and pushing this stuff in the American people's faces. These are the people of this particular continent that I'm on. They don't understand why only 8 years ago everything was just so much more together as a culture and as a society. And then they say, well, it's because of this, that, or the other, and as an observer, a neutral person, I can say to Starfleet, it doesn't make sense. None of this makes sense when you look at it from the perspective that they should have a common thread because they're all of the same race, and there is none. All there is just constant bickering, constant war with each other. That makes sense why there will be a nuclear holocaust. We were sent here to find out when that was going to happen, and based on what I've studied in the last 10 years, it is so much sooner than we ever thought it happened. That's why there are so few records, even today, about what happened in Starfleet. I am going to contact the Enterprise again. I just want to make sure of how much time I have on this visual, because Starfleet is real strict about how much time they'll allow me to put with my report. So let me just say to all of you again, we were sent for a mission, and though we failed because we don't have any way to change anything, and we certainly weren't sent here to do that, we failed in determining how soon it will happen, because what scares a lot of people on the Enterprise is, what if it happened right now? I'm still here. They do have a few other groups all over the world studying the same situation to figure out, can we make any collaboration of what's going to happen? The answer is no. Nobody knows how soon it will happen. That's why Captain Kirk has said, everybody's got to return to the ship. So, again, let me just say this in closing. We did what we could do with the facts that we have about this time in history, and I leave it up to Starfleet to decide if they want to send more teams back into this particular time in history, but I don't see how, with the turmoil we've seen and we've observed ever since this Barack Hussein Obama came into office. He has just taken what was at least a organization, a government that worked. He's destroyed it. And I don't see where any other person that comes in is going to do anything to get it back to where it was. That's my assumption based on, as a surveyor, this planet has very little time left. And we know what is going to happen according to Starfleet records. The Earth will recover itself. We will advance technologically because of the Vulcans, but as far as human history, it is all obliterated. Well, now maybe we have some evidence of what this culture was like before they destroyed themselves. So in conclusion, I'm going to go ahead and contact the Enterprise again, and then I think probably we'll have the video will be sent up later, because we do have a lot of this stuff still linked up with the Enterprise. So let me contact the Enterprise. This is Lieutenant Carter. I'm ready now to, y'all can beam me up. I can tell you honestly, Captain Spock, everybody, there is no intelligent life on this planet. There's no reason to think that we should do anything to try and help this culture. There's no hope for it. This is Carter, signing off.